Hey YouTube, today we're going to be taking a look at this IYV ESP style ILP-400 and specifically answering a question that I got from a viewer on how to set the string height on this, which this is a traditional tune-o-matic style bridge. So we will be discussing how to set the string height, and there's basically two camps. To give you a little bit of heads up, there's two camps on how to do this. One is primarily through measurement. I do it by feel, and so we'll be talking about how to do this by feel. So stay tuned as we look at how to set a tune-o-matic bridge string height. Alright, so we're going to be taking a look at this IYV ILP-400. It is a modern cut. I refer to it as an ESP style cut. Beautiful guitar. And it was so nice, and the price is incredible, under $200, available on Amazon, and so I actually bought a second one. So if you haven't already, check out my reviews on this guitar. Now let's take a look here. Now the body, I refer to this as a modern cut because it does have an arch top, and it has this reduced horn and cutaway here, and it's got the belly cut as well. So I would refer to that as a modern cut Les Paul style. The controls also, you got 3 controls instead of 4, very typical of a more modern style. But the bridge here is a traditional tune-o-matic bridge, and there are 2 places that you can adjust height. Now this adjustment is just for the tailpiece itself, and so that's not going to adjust how high the strings set off of the fretboard. But if you have any kind of weird harmonics build up in there, you can slightly adjust this to try to get rid of that. Not a typical thing, but sometimes it does come up. So let's get in real close here, and you can see this is, again, a traditional style, and these are very easy to work on. There is a thumb screw there. You can see that's got the little striations on the end to get some friction. This is the same bolt that the tune-o-matic bridge is sitting on, and so essentially you want to detune some before you actually start adjusting the height, just so you're not at full tension. It makes it a little bit easier to adjust, and you're just going to be driving this in or out according to if you're trying to set it higher or lower. And you can, this is the same thing, and so you can both turn this and gently with your other hand help to guide it, and you can feel as it's turning in there. Very easy to set. Now the other screws on here are for intonation, and that is setting so that the note played open and the note played at the 12 at the octave is harmonious, that they are in tune with each other. And so this is pretty close out of the box. This is one of the things that I'm going to be doing on these guitars is one of them I'm going to leave purely stock, just doing the most basic kind of setup, and on the other one actually doing my processes to it and doing more work to it, setting a lot of different, tweaking on it, tinkering on it, and so forth, and seeing the difference of here's just one out of the box versus here's one that I've spent some time on, and see how they sound different. But essentially you're just going to be, for string height, setting these 2 screws right here. So once you understand the rudiments of how to set, how to raise and lower the action or string height on your tune-o-matic bridge, the next question is, how high should you set it? Now this is where we move from more of a science to more of an art, because it truly is according to your preference. And that is, how do you play the guitar, and what kind of tones are you trying to get out of it, how aggressively do you strike the strings, and so forth. And so, are you primarily trying to set up your guitar for rhythm work? If so, are you doing very light classical rhythm work with arpeggios and so forth, or are you doing heavier strikes? Are you doing metal? The kind of music that you play is going to largely determine where you want your string height. And what you are basically trying to do in setting the height to your preference is play it the way that you want and ask yourself, are you able to hit the notes easily enough? First question, is it easy on your fingers? Do you have, do your fingers feel natural moving across the fretboard, or are you having to fight with it? Are you having to press overly hard? Are your nails hitting on the open notes and that sort of thing? So that's the first question. And then the second question is, are you getting string buzz? Basically, as I generally do it, is I try to lower it to the point of the playing style that I would do on that guitar, that it is as low as it can go without starting to create string buzz and string noise. Now, if you really want it low, you can, of course, go the extra step, take your strings off, and lower the frets by leveling them down, and that way you can achieve a lower action while not having as much string buzz. But this is all, again, you know, a lot of folks go according to measurements and so forth, and that's absolutely fine. I'm not dissing on that at all. But the measurements of, you know, trying to take exact measurements across the fretboard of, okay, my string's at this height, at this, that doesn't really mean anything to me in the same sense as I just do it by feel. I try to feel out, is this too hard to play? If so, I will start lowering the strings. And as I lower it, you know, am I creating unwanted noise? Or you also have to be careful, especially if your frets have not been well leveled by the factory. You can create dead zones. You can create, you know, if you lower it too much and you have a fret that's higher, it'll kill the note next to it and that sort of thing. So there is a limit to how low you can go before you start creating problems. The more level the frets, the better, in terms of they will accept a lower action easier. This guitar, for example, out of the box has remarkably low action. Most budget instruments come out of the box with a reasonably high action because, honestly, it hides all those fret leveling imperfections I was just talking about, and, you know, makes the guitar seem better than it is in terms of setup out of the box. I am once again impressed with IYV. They have impressed me over and over again with their offerings, and they seem to get better and better as they have gone. That out of the box, this thing was reasonably close to intonated, had a nice, reasonably low string height, very easy to play. I didn't have any dead zones, any fret buzz or anything like that. So it was remarkably well, both of them in fact, because I got two of these to check against each other, quality control and so forth, and both of them out of the box were eminently playable instruments, which cannot be said for a lot of budget guitars out there. So I was very impressed with them. But in terms of like when you're getting into trying to really make a guitar your own, doing extra steps of setup and so forth really helps with making the guitar your own and personalizing it. So as always, thank you all for watching, and let me know if you have questions. This video was inspired by a question I got from a viewer, and so I'm always looking for feedback, and if you guys have questions that can lead to video topics. As always, have a wonderful day, and thank you for watching.